Oh, we did live. We're live.
I'm just looking at never mind. I'm Oliver,
My name's Johann,
and this is Usable Live.
and we would like to start out with that we have changed the format a little bit compared to before.
Yeah, but that's not new. We're always changing formats, so
Exactly.
so this will not be the last one. So of course we've sharpened our pivot.
Yeah.
So we now usable is knowledge management or AI agents.
Yeah.
So what's that? What's knowledge management for AI agents?
Well, the whole concept really is that we've tried to figure out what we could use usable for.
Yeah.
And it feels like what really hits the nail in the coffin is what we call agents, AI agents. And I think we'll try to dive a little bit into
Maybe nail on the head, not the coffin.
Yeah, not the coffin. We didn't kill it. So what we'll try to demonstrate today is also just to give you an idea of what an agent is
Yep.
and how usable chat utilizes that and how you can utilize it yourself.
Yep.
So I think we just dive right in.
So the question is, yes.
Just so that we
So
have something.
what is an agent? Everyone's talking about AI agents. What is an agent?
Generally, when you talk about ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or whatever you use, you tend to just see it as a chatbot. You ask a question, it checks its vast amount of knowledge and gives you an answer, and that's it.
And then if we talk about ChatGPT, that is just a chatbot.
Yeah.
There, you have the option to turn on agentic mode or something like that, but it's not an agent.
No. So the whole idea with an agent is that it can iterate, reason over what it is that you're asking for.
So it's not just give you one answer, but to work on the solution and not come back to you until there is a good answer.
Yeah. And if it might produce something using tools, then it will try to iterate over those things, try to evaluate, is it okay, is it done, and then try again and again and again until it's
But is it
satisfactory.
Always connected to a chatbot?
It does not need to be connected to a chatbot.
Okay, so other examples?
Well, you could say that if a user were to upload a file, you could use an AI agent to process that file, where you could have multiple agents running in parallel or sequentially checking like for specific details that they are specialized in, and then they evaluate the file and figure out what to do with it and then store it somewhere. There was never a chat involved whatsoever.
Yep. So it can be with and or without chats.
Yeah. So you can kind of think of an agent as kind of like you're saying, okay, here's the information, let the AI run its course and figure out, basically like you gave a task to a human and then the human would try to figure out how to solve it.
Yep. Okay. You prepared some slides to
a couple of cute slides. So what we call this session was that it's the new format as well as demonstrating usable chat.
Yep.
So what we're pointing out immediately is that usable chat is not just a chatbot, because what it does behind the scenes is a lot more than just look for information and then hand it over.
Yep.
So and herein lies.
And you wrote before it's an agentic chatbot. Yep.
Yeah. So herein lies the biggest issue, generally with modern AI that we know today. It is that you have several LLM providers, so it could be OpenAI for ChatGPT or Anthropic for Claude. And the issue with, like, at least with people who try to build something with LLMs, is that they tend to forget where they got to, or if you chat with them long enough, they'll start to forget whatever happened way back before.
Yep.
And you tend to build applications on top of those LLMs. So the question is, the big box that we have right there is there any way to store the information for future use so that you essentially have long-term storage?
Yep.
So the AI can always refer back to what it was doing.
So you can do this with applications and agent frameworks and LLM providers and try to get some kind of persistence. And typically you would call that a RAG or something like that.
Yeah. There have been several attempts to, for example, storing markdown files. So just storing files in the project or wherever you're working so that he has some level of long-term memory. And obviously there are complex solutions like RAG as well, where you would have to store it in vector databases and whatnot to be able to maintain this information internally without just...
And being able to find the right information as easily as possible.
Yeah. And we've heard of a lot of companies who've just built their own internally because they didn't have any viable solutions at the time.
But now, is there a viable solution?
Exactly. So now, well, comes later. But for now, you can kind of hint at that we added some applications at the top, which is Taskable, Usable Chat, and the beautiful app that you currently developed called Calendar Run.
Which you should actually try out, is calendarrun.com. It's the festive calendar, Christmas calendar for running or walking or whatever you're doing.
And
you should try it out.
Don't call us if you fall down and pass out, because it's probably a bit hard.
You just need to read the terms and conditions. And
exactly. So these are applications that utilize either APIs or LLMs. And we're going to demonstrate in a bit how you can intermingle them. So I came up with a cheeky little demo of what one of the issues that you might run into when you're working with agents. And you might not be able to see it, but this is a crude edition of a product we'll be making called Orlando Studio.
Yep, which is an extension of the Orlando that we have talked about numerous times previously.
Yeah.
And remind us, what is Orlando?
Orlando is a workspace in Usable that helps you develop vanilla, basic, clean websites without any dependencies and allowing you to host completely free and very fast.
No frameworks.
No.
Nothing. Just plain vanilla.
Not even a git ignore in your project. Because there's no build process. Nothing. It's just clean.
Yep.
And what we're doing is building a studio version of that where you can do it in the browser. So,
meaning that you can see the results in the browser and you don't have to have cursor installed and anything like that.
Don't need any IDEs locally on your machine to do that. So I just wanted to demonstrate just to also give an idea of what an agent can be. So here you see a user prompted something where we have an agent dedicated to evaluating what the user asked for so that he knows what to do with this information. Now, if the user didn't provide enough information, he does an online search using a different agent that can use a specific AI model that is best for it, and maybe cheaper for internet search. And based on that, he uses the design agent and then starts to build the application using the build agents.
Yeah.
And then he validates that what he built is up to code and matches the specs. And if it's not, then he ends up in what you call an agentic loop. So he keeps trying until...
So there's the agentic loop.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep.
And as you can see here, we have build agents, which is a distributed workforce.
Yep.
So you kind of okay, you work on this, second one works on the next part.
So just to reiterate, you design, you build, you validate.
Yeah.
And then if the validation agent says, okay, we're done, then you have the output.
Yeah. And then it would tell the user, hey, look at this beautiful thing I built. Now, one of the issues here that you might run into is what happens if one of the agents crashes or something falls down or something in the chain breaks.
Yep.
Will he try to continue as best he can, or will you just see the entire thing crumble and you will have to start from scratch every time? And herein...
Shut off the computer and try again.
Exactly. Turn on and off again, as they say. Then at least you'll have no problems. And this is kind of where Usable will solve some of the questions.
That's Usable.
So if you insert Usable in this case, this is what the loop now looks like.
Yep.
So the blue dot indicates that it would save the state, the inusable. So he would be asked for a prompt, evaluate the prompt, do some research, document the research in usable.
Yep.
So that next time he might not even have to do an online search because the information is already in usable. Then he goes to the design phase, documents what the design is that we expect to build.
Yep.
Issue the work for the build agents where they constantly update what they're doing, how it's going, and then they can like collaborate using shared knowledge. And then from there, document the final result, where the validation agent will then validate what they did. And if it's not good enough, he will document why it's not good enough.
Yeah.
So then next time when the agents run through it, they will always know, okay, we can't do this because clearly this is not okay. So you're kind of iteratively making the AI better.
Yeah.
Because he will always have access to what you did wrong and what you should do better. So this validation agent will get faster and faster for every time because he will not be finding any issues eventually. And then he outputs the result. So this is kind of just to demonstrate how having long-term memory can help you a lot here. Because if the design agent crashes, we can just spin it back up and see where did we leave off. Oh, we got to this point because clearly that's the state we stored in usable.
Yeah.
And then he just proceeds through the design agent, build agents, and continues on like nothing ever happened.
Yep.
But I think enough with PowerPoint, like presentations.
I think it's very clear. So if you're building an agent, you need some kind of architecture.
Yeah.
And this is a very simple way of presenting that.
Yeah, and again, this is just
planning, doing, validating.
Yeah, this is just one example. There are hundreds of different examples and hundreds of different cases where this would help a breaking scenario.
And where usable comes in is, as you show in this with the blue dots here, is the memory layer.
Yeah.
Which you can show on the next slide.
So this is where we insert usable, but in this cake.
Yep.
So that when the agents are operating with the LLMs or the providers, they can always refer back to usable to see, is this done before? Is there some information I can use to produce something even better than before, or solutions or recipes or whatever it might be?
And usable chat is actually an agent.
Yeah. And some people might disagree when they initially see usable.
I think it's just a chatbot.
Yeah. And that's why I think we should try and prove them wrong, that it's not just a chatbot.
So this looks very clean.
This is the beautiful usable chat. And if anyone's used this before, you might see that there's a lot of changes that you might not have seen before.
Improvements even.
Yeah. So now you can upload files, where you can press this one, attach a file, and that's it. Then it will store the file in usable. You can have him search the internet for you. So the thing is that maybe when you're chatting with him, you might actually want him to go out on the internet and find more information.
Yep.
To be able to enrich your existing solution. So that's when you would use that one.
Yeah. But that one only works with a paid subscription.
Oh, see, now you have to buy a subscription.
Unless you're happy with just using usable and not the web search.
Yeah. And again, there are several cases where we've used, for example, Cursor to do a deep dive into some research and then using the MCP to say, store this in usable. Yeah. And now you have image generation. I think we can try those in a bit.
Yeah.
Just for fun. And this is kind of my favorite feature, which is context. Because what we had before is that when you use usable chat, he would just go across the board, search all the known information he has access to.
Yeah. No limitations.
Yeah. So now what we can do is we can press view context, add, and we can say Orlando. We'll turn this one off. We'll say Orlando. Where is he? That one. Selected. And I think we should just ask some questions about Orlando.
Yeah. So
what should we ask? We can say, what exactly is this workspace used for? Just to see what he does. And immediately what you see is that he is doing something called thought process.
Can you click that? Yeah.
If you click it, you can see that he's started to make tool calls to usable.
So those are MCP calls.
Yeah. So he will list conversation tasks because we haven't added any tasks yet, but he'll list the workspaces to see what workspaces he has access to. And then he will do what we call agentic search fragments. He will search using an agent behind the scenes to pinpoint exactly what content you're asking for.
Yeah.
And then he'll put a weight on it depending on how accurate does this match what you just asked for.
The search intent, or
yeah. And if it's not good enough, then he'll try to go even deeper and search even more.
Yeah, so we have an answer here.
Yeah, so he says it's a one-stop shop for creating and deploying static landing pages. And as you can see, he's used both the agentic search to get some context into what you use usable for, Orlando, but also he decided to list workspaces so he could just get the description.
Yeah.
And get some details from there. So simplicity and ease of deployment. Sounds about right. Yeah. There's also an Orlando Studio workspace.
Ooh. Spilling the beans.
Yeah, which is a paid version where users can develop landing pages using Orlando directly from a studio portal. Nice. So we could try and ask him, all right, that sounds pretty cool. Can you give me a sneak peek HTML file with all the bells and whistles? I'm not sure how you spell this with a Z. It doesn't matter. AIs aren't mean. They bells and whistles. So I can try and toss it into a fiddle. Just to see what he does with that information. So again, you can see the thought process here. He does agentic search. He searched for HTML example template code snippets landing page. He says he found something, so now he's getting the content of that fragment. And look at that. What's he doing? All right, he's still running, generating.
Is usable chat generating an image for us just to illustrate this, or what's happening?
He's not generating an image. I think he's trying to. There.
Okay. What's the HTML? Okay. So in principle, we can just copy this and put it into a file and then open it with a browser.
Yeah. There you go. What's included? So I will try and see if I can't copy this. I'm not sure if he actually gave me everything.
It seems like there's a head missing and stuff.
Yeah, but we can always try it. So I'll go into an editor, see what he spits out.
Yeah. Even without a header.
Yeah. So I can quickly say, I think you forgot to include headers and HTML tags and stuff.
Can you ask for the CSS and the JavaScript as well?
Yeah, I believe he probably mushed it all into one. There you go. Oh, that might be it. Hang on. Can we get it come with HTML, CSS, and JS all in the same file? Let's just keep it short for demo purposes. Just so it doesn't generate like a million lines. Because Orlando is specifically designed to use good design principles when he's making.
It's already coming there. But if you click the thought process, you can see what usable chat is doing here. It's listing tasks and then solving the problem.
Yeah. So he added this. This is it. He seems to be... I think I might have confused him with the fiddle part. Fiddle part. Just give me the code. Because it probably it depends on what fiddle tools you use, but so let's see if you can figure it out now. Otherwise, we'll just continue. All right, it still seems to just give me
no CSS.
No. But at least we can see what he's doing here, which is that he uses the appropriate BEM notation, because that's what we told him to do.
Yeah, can you ask about that?
What CSS notation is Orlando using? All right. Again, he's doing a agentic search to figure out what CSS notation methodologies he's using, which means he's grabbing the exact fragment. And let's see. Yeah, there it is. Orlando uses section-specific BEM block element modifier methodology, which is a very true and tested way to handle vanilla CSS.
Yeah. So is there more you could put into the contract? You chose the workspace.
Yeah. So we could, for example, change the thinking mode. So what type of AI he uses. One's more some are more expensive than the others.
The multilingual one is great for Faroese.
Yeah, but again,
more expensive.
More expensive. You can do some deep thinking if you really want to just have him dive into. So you could turn on deep thinking and internet or web search.
Yeah.
And then just have him go deep dive into some knowledge that you don't really have yourself, and then you can get enriched with that information.
The where you have the workspace choice there with the one there, if you click that one, can you add some pre-prompt?
Yeah, so I believe it is from, we'll have to create a project to do that. So if we go up here, press the create project button there. So we'll call this Orlando Pirate. Yep. We'll say, hey, or we'll say, always reply as a pirate who loves to bring up that he is terrified of parrots. Of parrots.
And you add
we'll add Orlando. Where is he? Orlando.
Yep.
And then you create the project. The whole point with projects is that you might have a specific way that you would like to work.
Yeah.
And again, just using the
Could we ask Useful Chat some other question about Orlando now?
Yeah, we could say, what is
the reply is as a pirate?
What is the recommended project structure? Or yeah, we'll just call it that. And we'll see what he does.
And then everything works correctly, then it will be the recommended project structure for
and
for Orlando, and
he's already using his
ahoy there.
And as you can see now, he actually is a lot more. Look at that. HTML structure, quick summary, both quick principles, clear separation, concerns. Nervously glances around, looking for the parrot. These beady-eyed scallywags give me the shivers.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he tried to list the conversation tasks. So if we added some tasks here, or if we gave him some tasks.
Yeah.
And then he did an agentic search. Then he obtained the 2 fragments that we were talking about. And then produced this content. Or we can even go in and look at the fragment that he referenced.
So there's a direct link now to the fragment.
Yeah. And he will, this is very, very detailed for the project structure, because otherwise vanilla websites just.
And I noticed there was something about accessibility. Maybe you could ask about that.
Yeah, we can try that. What are the considerations for people with accessibilities?
accessibilities or accessibility issues, or
yeah, we can see what he figures out with that. Ahoy! Any squawking parrots? Let me check what we have.
Oh, my hearty.
All right, there we go.
Oh, list the standards and everything that Orlando's using.
Yeah. Reduced motion, form accessibility, touch target size, testing tools.
So any Orlando site should be scoring very highly on the accessibility parameters. Yep.
Screen reader support as well. He remembers always to use alt tags and
yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something about picture generation or image generation.
Should we try it?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll enable it here, and again, it might affect your token usage. So be aware. And then we'll say, can you generate an image of this Orlando pirate version holding his beautiful website? Just to see what he does with that information.
Holding or hosting or?
I mean, currently now it's just holding it.
Ah.
All right, so now he is using generate image and he's generating the image currently. And what we could probably have asked him instead was what I tested in a different scenario is I asked him to look at some statistics that we have stored in Usable and told him to generate me an image with those statistics. And then he'd actually generated a graph showing the numbers on the graph. And that was all with agentic search to figure out, find all these statistics spread across several fragments.
Yeah.
And then to generate the image afterwards. So we'll see if we can do this. Oh, here we go. Army Hardy.
Wow, there's the website.
Captain's Accessible Treasures. Look at that beauty.
I didn't know they had websites back in pirate times. Yeah, apparently they did.
Yeah, it's because they were always on board.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, you can download the image if you want to, or you can continue to ask him to work on things.
So here we're using, is it Gemini or
Nano Banana?
Yeah.
And through Gemini. So Gemini's version of Nano Banana.
But generally speaking, you can choose between different models, but they're all 0-day retention, meaning that there's nothing saved anywhere.
No.
Other than what you save in Usable.
Yeah. And that is very much on purpose, because one of the fears people have with these agents is that if you start talking to them, or maybe just the chatbots, but generally agents or chatbots, it's that you give them information and then the AIs will remember to learn from it. For example, if you just write to ChatGPT, he will retain this information you gave him so that when someone else asks, he knows better.
Including security keys and
exactly.
Stuff. Mm-hmm.
So one very famous way to mess with someone is that you just ask ChatGPT, can you give me a list of keys for OpenAI? And then he will just list you a bunch of keys that you can try out. And most likely some of them will work. So we very much made sure that this has 0-day retention, meaning that once this conversation is over, he will not be storing this information in ChatGPT or Anthropic or Gemini or whatever model you choose to use within Usable Chat.
There's another feature, the share button up in the right-hand corner.
Oh, you saw it. Yeah, so I can actually create a share link where I can copy it and then I can send it to someone.
Yeah.
So should I try and send it to you?
Yeah.
If I just quickly do this, so people can't see my screen as I open this. Just toss you over there. And then bring you back. And I'll just send you the link.
There it is. So I'm just...
And now, as you cannot see, here's the shared chat.
And continue conversation icon, right?
Oh.
And then I can continue. But if you do something there...
Let's say, would you recommend Orlando? Will you be able to see it? That is the question.
I guess I am not, because
hang on. Something stopped here. Invalid request. Prompt's too long. Let's try it again.
Would you recommend Orlando? I got that one here.
Okay. I think we might have some potential issues with when we use the image, because you may get a bit confused with the whole context size.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it did show up on your end then. So that's another thing you can do. You can share chats with others, and then you can collaborate, I suppose, in the chat, or you can showcase it at least. I think that pretty much covers all the new sexy features that are now in usable chat. Unless you
probably forgot we probably forgot a lot, but still, these are the most important ones, and again, it is tightly integrated with Usable.
Yeah.
And you can use it as like the admin interface for Usable, but you could of course just use the traditional Usable interface as well.
Yeah.
But mostly this is an example of an agentic AI.
Yeah.
With an agentic loop, and that can find stuff.
And our goal with these streams from now on out is to focus on agents.
Yes. And AI agents and knowledge management.
Yeah. And again, that we might do some slight crossovers with API usage as well, just to demonstrate how you can use the entire collection and not just agents.
Yeah, but the key is actually in knowledge management.
Yeah.
Mainly for AI agents, but it is also usable for anyone else.
Yeah, so we might end up setting up, for example, with Taskable, where we had API calls from an app, and then you could use the agent internally to react to those API calls and stuff like that.
Yep.
Using Usable behind the scenes.
So if you have any comments or questions, you're welcome to comment here. And
we can toss this one on.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
And what's the exercise?
It's to try and build an agent that connects to Usable.
Yeah.
With the MCP tools that we have provided in our documentation.
Fantastic.
So if anyone wants to try this or make an app with...
And the documentation is at usable.dev/docs.
Yeah. And
you'll find it inside Usable, of course.
And again, we will also make sure to demonstrate how you can make agents and stuff.
We have two actually reasonably cool things. Yeah. You can now log in with both Google and with Facebook.
That is true.
So you don't need to create your own username and password anymore.
Finally.
So it's really easy to get started.
And again, if you feel like you should really have this login as well, then feel free to write to us on Discord and let us know. And then
if there's any other federated login that you would like us to support.
All the hardcore Discord users are screaming why we're not adding Discord login.
we might. If not, people will shout.
Yeah. But I think that was about it.
Yeah, and I think with those words, I think it's time for you to go out and make something usable.